Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. My name is Brian and I am the horror show host. And today, me along with David Maggot, say hey David,
Hi, how's it going, guys?
we're going to be taking a look at the Leprechaun movies, starting off with one all the way up until well, is it part 8 or is it part 7 or just part 2? I don't
Part.
know.
What are we
It would
doing
technically
here?
be part 2.
Yeah,
It'd be the 8th installment, but the second movie.
right. I know, man.
Anyways, we're getting to Leprechaun. Well, the Leprechaun franchise, starting off with Leprechaun from 1993,
Mhm.
which actually was funny because that's the year I was born. So it's got some nostalgic ties to me, even though I didn't see it until I was much older.
Mhm. I think I
So
rented
what did
it
you do?
in '93.
Oh yeah.
That's when I with my paper out money and stuff.
Did you know the director of this movie also directed Rumpelstiltskin and
hmm
Triloquist? Yep. I didn't know that until later. I was like, wait, he directed another short killer movie along with a dummy movie?
Yeah,
Not
you can see
Rumpelstiltskin.
the style kind of matches a little bit of Rumpelstiltskin and Leprechaun.
Yeah. Um, uh, and Rumpelstiltskin is like a hard movie to find because I couldn't find the DVD. It was like $100. I'm like, I ain't doing that. But so let's get into the plot of Leprechaun. So Jennifer Aniston stars. You can't start saying stuff about Leprechaun unless you say Jennifer Aniston stars. And this 1993 horror comedy where she moves out to the countryside with her father, and her father, and along with three guys that paint, run into the leprechaun. Now, the father kind of exits the movie a little early on, so it's just the four of them fighting against I was going to say a Warwick Davis, but a leprechaun played by Warwick Davis. So, what are your thoughts on Leprechaun?
I like it. It's a great balance between comedy and horror. Like it definitely has it's comedic up until it's supposed to be scary, and then it gets scary. I think this one has
Unlike the
this.
sequel.
Yeah, this one got a really good balance. I think. Yeah.
Yeah, I think it has some good characters. They were really trying to make it something cool and inventive. I mean, we've had Freddy Krueger up until this point. We had Pinhead, but not really. We've had Chucky. I can't forget to mention Chucky. But we haven't had someone who could do like all three of what they could do.
hmm
So he's a magical little imp, I guess. He's a pest.
Yes.
I really like the fact that he's played by Warwick Davis up until the newest installment. Actually, no, up until the sixth installment.
Yeah, a bit more
Uh,
origins, I think. A bit well.
yeah, that was Hornswoggle. Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, it's funny because in that movie, it's like Hornswoggle's playing the leprechaun. Wait, it just looks like a creature. There's no talking or anything.
Yeah, when I watch that one, that'll be a first time watch for me. I've never seen that one.
Oof, I'm
Yeah.
sorry, I didn't mean to spoil anything.
No, that's fine. I know. They're like kind of like pre-leprechaun creature type things.
Yeah, I mean, I guess. I mean, that it kind of butchers the lore of Leprechaun 6, but
Mm,
regardless, Leprechaun is like a cult classic from the early 90s. It doesn't really do anything different. It just tries to tell a simple story with a crazy execution with the budget they had, which was like, I think, $900,000, maybe a million.
hmm
What'd you think of the characters?
They're very quirky. They do get quirkier as the sequels go on, but I really liked the kid was your average like 80s 90s style kid with the foul mouth, that was like check mark, on that. Then there's Ozzy is a very lovable lighthearted character who's friends with the kid, so it's kind of like a critters type thing.
Mhm.
And then you have the heartthrob guy who's from like summer school as their leader. I guess their leader.
I know
Then
they didn't really establish who's the boss. It's just like all
yeah,
three of them
yeah,
work together.
maybe the kid's the boss. And then there's like Jennifer Aniston. She's like a bubblehead.
Yeah,
Yeah.
she's a city girl in
hmm
this country landscape.
hmm
But I always liked Ozzy and the whole gang. And then I really started watching the Leprechaun movies after part one, and I noticed like, hey, this is played by Warwick Davis, like every single movie.
Yeah, Willow.
So, yeah, Willow Man. And I fell in love with the character even more after seeing. I think it was up until part three that I realized, hey, this is the same actor.
Mhm.
This is when I was like a kid, so I didn't really pay attention to who was acting in the same movies or not because I was terrible at telling who was who.
Mhm.
Uh, what did you think of the not just the cinematography, but just like in terms of, I would say, lighting, because there are some shots like where he chases the cop that are very moody and very atmospheric.
Mhm.
But I think that scene was actually added in after, wasn't it? Like
That
they
scene,
needed to
yeah,
amp up the gore.
because it was supposed to be a family movie. It was supposed to be a PG movie,
Yeah,
and then they added like deaths
PG
in
13.
and stuff. Yeah. So yeah.
um, yeah, it's supposed to probably be like along the lines of Critters or Gremlins, and it turned out to be more along the lines of Child's Play and Nightmare on Elm Street,
Yeah.
but not to that same level.
Mm.
But what do you think of the camera work
I
in
liked
terms
it.
of like an overall?
Very inventive. Very inventive. I'd say the first three have some really good shots. Yeah, and very
Yeah.
very good mood lighting. Definitely in the moonlight, and outside in like the clover field and all that.
Hmm.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, like when they find the clover and it all turns like green on their face. It's
Hmm. I love that type
they're
of lighting.
hulking out, man. They're
Yeah.
hulking out. I found me a green clover. Whoa. Um, what do you think of? Trying to think of another thing to talk about until we get to the next stuff. Uh, well, what didn't you like about the movie?
I think there could have been a little bit. There could have been more deaths, But then again, that goes back to it was going to be like a lower rating.
Yeah. Um, I think they probably would have had like one or two less deaths if they
Mhm.
had kept it a family movie.
Mhm.
Which it's not. It's like a body count of like four, maybe three or four, maybe.
3 or 4,
It's
yeah.
not.
Just the
It's
wife,
not
the
huge.
cop, and then the what's his
The
name? Dan.
husband. Oh, yeah, Dan Grady,
Yeah.
and I think that was actually it.
Mhm.
uh, I think I didn't like the fact that it was just some scenes were way too silly, like when
Mhm.
he rides the bike or when he crashes into the fence and it's just his cut out.
Is
It's
it
like,
like the sped up shots and like it turns into like a
yeah,
Roadrunner cartoon? It was
yeah, or
definitely
when
a
he's on the gurney and
tonal. Those would go for tonal issues because when it was supposed to be like a family movie, and then they're like
yeah,
terrifying horror movie added to it.
yeah, they kept some of the childish stuff
Yeah.
because it's still kind of fit. I can see probably where they cut some angle, changed some angles to make it more horror related and take out the family comedy aspect. Because if they hadn't, they would have been PG-13, no problem.
Yeah.
And I love how every release of this movie, it has to say starring Jennifer Aniston, or Jennifer Aniston will be on the cover.
Yeah.
Back in the original poster, it had no pictures of Jennifer Aniston. I don't think her name was even on the top billing.
No, Friends didn't come out till like a year later, right?
Yeah,
So
I'm not sure.
nobody
I've
really
watched
knew
Friends a couple times, but
nobody knew who she was.
no. And then they had the whole infamous Jennifer Aniston haircut style.
Yeah.
Everyone's got to have that haircut in the 90s.
Yeah. With like terrible clothes, like this. Oh man, the style was
Oh yeah,
amazing, but terrible at the same time.
yeah. Um, I would just love. I would pay to see Warwick Davis in the Leprechaun get up with Rachel's hair and from Friends.
That would be amazing.
Yeah, but I think they'd be like copyright because you're just banking off of. Yeah, damn right, we're banking off of that.
Yeah.
Uh, so, what do you think of the gore and effects? I mean, we've talked a little bit about the low body count, but
When it did come in, it was good. It was really good. That's Gabe Bartolos who did like Basket Case 2 and whatnot, a whole bunch of other stuff. Yeah, I think he did. Did he do all the movies or did he like drop off after 4? But yeah,
I
he did
have
some
no idea. I do.
really good
I
effects.
like. Oh yeah, especially in part three. Those are
Mm.
some really good effects. Um, I think my favorite is actually not a kill in the movie. It's when he gets his eye popped out and he just steals the other guy's eye and puts it in his.
Yeah, yeah.
That's probably the most gruesome moment in the movie.
Mhm.
And I think that's where this movie also kind of fails. Like it tries to be at parts, it tries to be a sickening little creep of a leprechaun, but it just scratches the surface. It doesn't really make you feel icky.
Yeah. Yeah. Definitely
uh,
like a cleanliness to it, but at the same time, then it just kind of gets gross for a minute.
yeah, and it's like, wait, what was that for?
Yeah, where the heck did that come from?
What'd you think of the soundtrack where they sing that four-leaf clover song when they were riding over the country? I just burst out laughing every time.
I think yeah, that's also music adds music probably changed the tone of it too when you get some creepy music and stuff. Because music can do anything, you know, it can change an entire like feel of a movie. But I
Like
liked it, yeah.
Halloween or something.
Mhm. Mhm. But yeah,
I
like
like the. Sorry, go
no, I was just
ahead.
gonna say I was gonna say the same thing.
I liked that it tried to be whimsical and magical in the music.
Mhm.
Even I think that became like a staple when they had movies like Troll. Uh, that had a very mesmerizing, magical score, and it was more of a horror movie. So,
Mhm.
well, it's a horror comedy. So I think Leprechaun took some notes from Troll along with a few
Absolutely.
other films.
Absolutely.
Yeah. What are your opinions on whatever that was is gone now? What are your opinions on the whole entire movie as a whole?
I like it. It's not my favorite out of the series. We'll get to that. But I liked it for a little slasher movie, you know. Definitely it was or it came out around a time where we really didn't have anything like a Friday the 13th going on. There was the last Friday the 13th the same year. But
Yeah, the
that didn't
last
feel like a Friday the 13th movie really. But
no, the last Freddy Krueger movie was the year after. So,
nine yeah, and oh yeah, New
oh
Nightmare.
no, that was 2 years earlier because I'm thinking of New Nightmare.
Yeah.
Freddy said had come out a couple years earlier.
91, yeah. I saw that in theater.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I, I I have a soft spot in my heart for that one. But yeah,
Yeah,
I don't know. But yeah, like it filled like your annual new slasher movie. Well, because I was like 12 when Leprechaun came out. So it I was renting horror movies since I was 5, so it filled my slasher 1993 slate for me, you know.
yeah. I don't think anyone has suspected it to be a slasher franchise when they saw the first film. They're like,
Yeah.
"This isn't going nowhere." But then you got to remember, Children of the Corn has like 10 movies. So,
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
um, so out of five, what would you give Leprechaun?
I would give Leprechaun I'd give it a solid I'd give this one a 3.5, yeah, out of 5. Because it's not my favorite, but we'll get to
Hmm.
that. 3.5.
I'd probably go quite a bit lower.
Hmm.
I tend to be more scrutinizing on horror movies now. I
Hmm.
understand that I give them leeway when they have lower budgets.
Yeah.
But in terms of 1993, $900,000 was all kind of midway budget. It wasn't huge, but it
Hmm.
was enough to get some certain things done. So in terms of that, I probably would give it like a 2.5.
Hmm.
Yeah, I really enjoy it. I've watched it probably, I don't know, 6 or 7 times,
Hmm.
but I think it could have had a lot more in terms of gore,
Yeah.
um, and kills, and the music could have been probably a little bit more punchy, like the second movie.
Hmm. Hmm.
Um, and I think that since it's about a leprechaun, there's some aspects of whimsical charm, but that's mostly in the scenes of like them fighting the four leaf clover and the light changes and it's like, oh, ooh, that's so charming.
Yeah.
Uh, but the sequels more had more charm, especially again part two.
Uh-huh.
Uh, but I think this is still a very watchable movie. It's not like it's boring or anything. It's gets in, gets out, and it leaves you with a feeling of either I hated it or I loved it.
Exactly.
So that's going to do it for this video, guys. Thank you all for watching, and stay tuned for the rest of the Leprechaun movies. We'll go for parts 1 to 8, which is technically part 2. And So I am Brian Gatto, the horror show host. Make sure to check out my Facebook fan page, my Patreon page, and my Twitter page, which I always forget to shout out, as well as David Maggott's YouTube channel page. I'll leave all the links in the description below, and to leave comments and
Subscribe.
subscribe.